have a lot of really weird stuff in this game room. And a bunch of it I feel like hasn't really been showcased before online. So I had this idea for a new segment. I think I'm gonna call it Collector's Cut? Collector Cuts? Something like that. Read the title. Anyway, I think the idea is gonna be to take one thing in this game room and kind of give you a really brief overview of what it is, what kind of price you should be paying as of this video, but really more just to show you something that you probably haven't seen before and just letting you know that it exists. Because as I'm doing more of these videos, that seems to be what I'm the most into myself. So with that said, welcome to episode 1 of Collector Cuts? Collector's Cut? Collector... whatever. And in this first episode, we will be talking about Nintendo Library Carts.
One.
So first of all, what is the Nintendo Library? Well, for a number of years, Nintendo kept a physical library of every release that was licensed for a Nintendo platform. These cartridges were used for a wide range of purposes, ranging from being used by Nintendo gameplay counselors to Team Nintendo when they were off-site doing demos of consoles and games, promotional events, and when, say, like a third party, like a movie studio, needed to borrow a game for footage in a film or television show, they would source games from this library. I know a lot of collectors don't like stickers, and a lot of vendors remove them, so I wanted to put out this video to try and put a kibosh on that. I have seen a number of library carts that have had their barcodes unceremoniously removed. So you'll actually find two primary styles in the wild of library carts. These are a sort of a second generation version. The first generation was sans barcodes, and were actually, there was a serial number added to the top of the cartridges with just a standard impact label maker. I would really caution buying those style of carts from anyone besides a verified Nintendo employee, because they're super easy to fake. You can get any label maker and create those labels. The games I'll be showing you today do use barcodes, but so do other rental stores, so I wanted to step you through ways that you can identify Nintendo library cartridges. So, unfortunately I don't have any handheld carts like from Game Boy or GBA, but I will step you through how to identify a barcode on an NES game and a Super Nintendo game. So I think the first thing to know about these labels is that they were made extremely cheaply. They are basically label maker labels that were done on like a dot matrix printer, so you can actually see like the breaks in the barcode from it being done on a legacy printer. And then it had, most of them, if not all of them, have Scotch tape put over the tops of them. When these left the building, typically if they were sold to an employee, which many of them were, then they blacked out this barcode and then stuck a not for resale promotional sticker on them. So that's a good telltale sign that these are legitimate, is that if your barcode is blacked out and or there's a not for resale promotional sticker on them. Not to say that all of these have not for resale stickers, because, well, essentially not all of these left the building by legitimate means. So, like this Thunderbird cartridge, for instance, does not have that sticker at all. Many times you will see them where the barcode's been blacked out. This one is probably a more egregious offender. But since the labels have Scotch tape over them, generally you can get most of it off with denatured alcohol or a solvent like that. Just be careful, test it on a piece of Scotch tape first before you use it on this, just to make sure that what you're using isn't going to eat through the Scotch tape. Here you can see the difference between the corner piece here that is been blacked out versus what I've tried to clean up here. As far as descriptive properties of the barcode, from what I've seen on both NES and SNES, again, I can't speak towards handhelds, I've never actually seen one, but so there is a numbering system on all of these barcodes, and they start with the first letter of the game, and then take a portion of the serial number as the second portion. So there'll be a letter denoting that this is, U for Ultima, and then this 7US, you can actually see the 7U here on the actual serial number or the product code for the game. It will have a number that denotes that this was the 34th U game. So not that there are 34 games in the collection that start with U. Like, for instance, if there were 20 copies of the game that preceded this one, and then another 13 copies of Ultima Runes of Virtue, then this would be then the 34th U game, because there were 33 physical U cartridges that preceded it. So placement is generally key on these as well. On Super Nintendo games, I've pretty much only seen these barcodes in these locations. These all, of course, have the barcodes in these locations. Similarly, I've only ever seen the NES games with the barcodes going vertically, like this Thunderbird's cart. As far as value, it really varies. If you find someone who knows what they have and you really want it, then you're going to probably pay a little bit more. Of course, the actual game is going to affect the value too. You're going to pay a lot more for Ultima Blackgate than you are for Street Hockey 95. There is not necessarily an inherent markup to be expected on these carts, typically because just a lot of retailers just think that these barcodes are from some rental store or something like that. Alright guys, so that's going to be about it for this video. Again, I just wanted you to be aware of what these barcodes look like, what they represent. But yeah, so I hope this was educational and interesting, and go out and start hunting these library carts. If you like what I do here and you like seeing things that maybe you've never seen before, I am really digging my heels into this whole video game archaeology aspect of these videos. So if you're into that kind of thing, please like and subscribe, support my channel. I'm really trying to do the best I can here. Yeah, I hope you like my work, and we'll see you on the next video.